All right, guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. We are currently on part 2 of this little series of taking the trans out of this car. So just an update for you guys. I know part 1 I didn't do too much pulling apart, but I've disassembled the brake setup. It's disconnected from the LCAs, taking every bolt out of the subframe except for this one here. It's already loosened. I'm about to support and brace the oil pan so it can put some support on the motor when I drop the subframe. But began disconnecting. I began disconnecting some things off of the trans as well. Remove the fuse box. Let me show you guys real quick. Fuse box removed. As you can see here, trans mount. Don't necessarily know what that back there is called. If you can see it. Took some bolts out of that as well. But yeah. Just got to get this subframe bolt out, and then we will drop it out. I probably won't do too much talking. Just kind of want to focus, but I want you guys to be able to see the process. So yeah. All right, guys, just to update you. So I just got done. I know it's hard for you guys to see, but I was loosening this subframe bolt here. I noticed it was free spinning, which told me that there was still some tension up here somewhere. So what I just did was I just took out this ridiculously long bolt for the rack and pinion. So the steering rack and whatnot. So I've just loosened it from this side. I'm about to go to the driver's side and do the same. And then I'm gonna use either that rope over there or like a bungee cord and just keep it supported. It's hard for you guys to see, but there is a rear trans mount right there. I know that's going to have to come out as well. And then, I mean, honestly, after that, I think I have one motor mount in the front that I need to remove, and then it should drop out as far as the trans goes. But once I take out that other rack and pinion side, this subframe should be ready to drop. Okay, guys, just want to update you. So it's probably been about an hour since I last said anything for the video. Subframe's just kind of getting on my nerves. So as you can see, the driver's side of the subframe has come out no problem. It's hanging, it's dangling. Now on the passenger side, I don't really feel like climbing under there, but that bolt that I was showing you guys earlier, it's just spinning. I can stick my hand up there, feel the tail end of it, and it's just spinning. So the bolt hasn't snapped because the whole bolt is moving when I'm drilling it or trying to break it loose with the breaker bar. Randy just helped me. He put some pressure down on it with this 2x4 here, but I mean, with that pressure, it just makes it tighter to try and spin, but it's not coming out. So what I'm going to try to do, I am going to remove these 3 bolts for the transmission mount. And then once I take that off, I'm going to drain. I haven't drained the trans yet. I'm going to drain the trans before I finally pull it apart. But once I take these 3 out, drain the trans, I'm going to start separating the trans from the actual motor. And in all honesty, I'm going to try to drop it and just pull it out through the driver's side. Because I just checked my other trans, the new one that's in the yard, and honestly, it looks like it should work. I don't want to waste too much time fooling with that other bolt. So I'm going to go ahead and release these trans mount bolts, and then we'll go from there. All right, guys and girls, so I tried to get the trans out. It started raining a little bit harder. I decided to go ahead and call it a day. I did go ahead and I did go ahead and drain the transmission of all of its fluid. So it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow. I'm debating as to whether or not I'm going to go get a tent and a tarp. I can lay on the tarp and then set the tent up and on top of or above the car. That way I don't get wet. But yeah, if it's too crazy tomorrow, I'll just simply hold off for Wednesday and work on orders tomorrow. Appreciate everybody who bought anything on that very last drop for these specific designs. But yeah, we'll just keep an eye out on the water. I'm tired, y'all. We'll keep an eye out on the weather tomorrow. Of anything, like I said, if it's too bad, then I'll just simply hold off, work on orders tomorrow, let that be it. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to end it here. We'll probably end up just picking up, whether it be tomorrow or Wednesday. So I will see you guys then. All right, guys, new day. We're picking up where we left off. Like I said, get this trans man out, split it from the engine. Trying to beat the rain today. It is not raining yet. So let's get to it. All right, guys. I just want to update you real quick. So I apologize, I haven't been recording. It is raining. Don't want to get the phone wet. But I just got back from Advanced. Ran and got some more gloves, some more latex gloves. And I had to get this 18 mil wrench. So I just disconnected the very last bolt from the rear trans mount to the trans. I tried to take the entire trans mount out, but the bolt didn't want to come out. So I said, screw it. So that is out. These next three up top are going to be the next to go. And then honestly, after that, the trans should be ready to drop out the car. And then we just have to take out these bolts that are going across or around the trans, connecting it to the motor. And then we should be able to drop it down and wiggle it on out. Like I said, fluid has already been drained. So honestly, if I can get this thing loose, I'm going to call it a day. I'm honestly tired of being out here in this rain, getting muddy and messy. But yeah, so like I said, these three trans mount bolts and start peeling off the casing, and we should be good to go. All right, guys, so as you just saw, I just took out the trans mounts next to the motor or in the engine bay, and as you can see, take the pressure off of the trans, and it is now dropping out. So I don't want to bend anything, so I'm going to jack it back up, and then like I said, next move is to separate the actual trans from the motor. So I'm going to figure out what bolts those are. I'm going to run over there. Trans is actually over there covered up. If I can zoom in, I'm gonna go over there and look. I'm just kind of using that, or I've been using that as a reference for how to take this one out. So going to see what bolts need to be removed to separate this trans from the motor. All right, guys, so that is going to do it for part 2 of this transmission install. The weather, it's getting a little bit colder, it's getting a little bit windier, the rain's starting to come down a little bit heavier. So like I said, I've been at it for, what's today, Tuesday, at least 3 days now. Making a lot more progress than I thought I was going to, but I'm just tired. Tired of being out in the weather. I'm not really dressed for it. I'm not trying to get sick. So yeah, I'm gonna call it quits for today. I did, just to update lastly, I did separate for these cars, not the trans pan, but the oil pan is connected to the trans on the passenger side. So I did take those bolts out. The trans is hanging. The trans mount has been removed. So once again, like I said, I'm just taking the casing of the trans and starting to pull that apart from the motor. So yeah, I mean, next video, it will be titled "The New Transmission is In." Speaking that now. So, but I appreciate everybody who's been keeping up with these videos, been supporting. I have a lot more things to do today, so appreciate you all. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's keep this growth coming. Plenty more to come. After we're done with the Cobalt, we will be moving over to the SRT4. I just kind of want to do this to kind of build my confidence with pulling cars apart. This is the most technical I've ever gotten, so practice makes perfect. But yeah, like I said, just want to gain my confidence pulling this apart first, and then we will run on over to the SRT4, get that running, get this thing